The African innovation ecosystem continues to thrive against all odds, building new products and improving the use of technology in diverse areas. My guest today is helping to deepen innovation, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa, and joins me to share his thoughts on how policies can support innovation ecosystem in general. We have a lot more lined up for you, but let's kick off the show with some news and updates. I am Chukwemeka Agbata, and this is Tech Trends.
Innovation is the specific instrument of entrepreneurship, the act that endows resources with a new capacity to create wealth.
The sight of drivers parking their vehicles to wait in lines in front of petrol stations to get fuel is common in today's world, especially with the rising demand of fuel by vehicles and machines. In Nigeria, most stations operate manually, increasing wait times and sometimes causing unnecessary delay. This system oftentimes gives room for corrupt practices and transactions of fuel stations, with motorists and petrol consumers complaining of overpricing or under-dispensing. To solve this problem, a team of Nigerians at the Automation and Solution Development Company in Lagos have developed an automated fuel management system that can maintain the account of the fuel stations.
Fuel looks something that is insignificant in our everyday life, but if you look at it vis-a-vis the economy, we spend about 3.6 trillion annually on fuel in Nigeria. Fuel is the only substance in Nigeria today that if you increase the price instantly, or if there's a bit of scarcity of it instantly, the entire economy locks down. There was no one really looking in that space actively. We tried to even be a vendor of foreign products to try and solve that problem, but it just couldn't work. This environment was built different from their own environment, and seeing that as a challenge and seeing the market space, we decided to take the challenge heads on.
We were actually developing a solution that we thought was going to be a perfect market fit. It was an interface device that combined pump automation, and we thought it was going to be something that was really going to be a joker for the market. Unfortunately, when we hit the market with that particular product, we found out that the market did not really receive it as we had expected. So we had to go back again to the drawing board to begin to reiterate and look at what exactly the market wanted, and today we've been able to develop something that is market fit, something that is very acceptable, not just in the local market, but also in the international market.
They built an IoT-enabled forecast controller that will help petrol station owners monitor their station's operation real-time and prevent product theft by employees. The e-pump station automation will improve the daily operation and management of fuel stations while also ensuring customers get value for their money.
What we're doing at the moment is we're helping filling station owners and their customers, which is you and I, to get the best value for their investment. We provide monitoring services via technology that allows you to be physically away from the station but know exactly what is going on. For fuel buyers like you and I, especially when it's in a corporate environment where in most cases you're not fueling the car yourself, you're sending a driver to fuel. Statistically, it's established that drivers take about 30 to 40% of your fueling budget. So ePump helps you prevent that.
So we have developed a unique IoT controller that is kind of innovative, and it's really a miniature device that doesn't cause any obstruction when we attempt to make installation for gas stations. And then we have also been able to build this IoT controller so that it has expandable slots for future features that people may decide to add on it, such like integrations with the bank POS, integrations with other payment companies, and all of those things. We have been able to put all of those things together into this one IoT controller.
The controllers, which are designed in Nigeria, are installed as add-ons to the pump, GPRS and Wi-Fi enabled. They allow station owners and managers access their dashboard remotely. The aim is to provide end-to-end solutions to the challenges of the downstream sector of the oil and gas industry.
On the POS terminal, I'm going to select POS payment. So once I select POS payment, I'll select the nozzle for which I want to use to make for purchase. In this case, it's going to be pump 1. And then I'm going to enter the transaction amount that I want to buy. I'm going to say 500 naira. And then, okay, I get to submit. And then it asks me to insert my card. Once I insert the card, it will ask me for my PIN. The system is trying to process the transaction. Once the transaction is processed, the receipt is printed. That's the customer copy, and then another copy is printed, which is the merchant copy. So once you complete that process, you proceed. And then, of course, the POS shows you that the pump is ready for transaction. You can pick the nozzle. So I'm going to pick the nozzle. And then it shows on the POS that transaction has started. So I'm going to dispense. Once it gets to 500 naira, I expect that the transaction will automatically cut off by itself. So transaction in progress. The transaction is happening. So you can see the transaction is in progress on the POS. Likewise on the pump. So the fuel is still being dispensed. Again, I expect that once it gets to 500 naira, it will just automatically cut off. So it's 500 naira, transaction cuts off. It shows I bought 4.15 liters for 500 naira, and then I can simply hang my nozzle, and then transaction is done, and then it reverts back to the payment homepage.
Using IoT to automate fuel management systems helps ensure the accurate dispensation of fuel at the pump and provides transparency and control over fuel inventory.
Nigerian students have built a machine they hope can one day help hospitals remotely treat COVID-19 patients, taking temperatures, transporting medicine, and also allowing medical workers to communicate with patients with a webcam and a screen. The robot is a remote-controlled cabinet on wheels, decked out with a vibrant floral pattern and dubbed My Robot. In a demonstration, a school nurse loads My Robot with medicine and, using a controller and goggles to see through a camera, trundles the machine through a corridor and into a mock isolation room to scan a student's forehead for her temperature.
We try to find and figure out a solution to that particular problem, because without the healthcare workers, who would be the people taking care of COVID-19 patients? So My Robot was born because we were looking for a way to reduce the physical contact between healthcare workers and infected COVID-19 patients.
But My Robot, which took about 3 months to build, is still in its early days. During the demonstration, the isolation room door had to be left open for it, and it can only carry medication, so patients would self-administer while a nurse watches over the camera.
Can you hear me? Huh?
David Adeniyi is the teacher overseeing the robotics team. He says the students hope to make My Robot commercially available one day.
Right now we are working on upgrading of My Robot to meet up to international standard, whereby when you see it, you can put your money on it and buy it.
For Abbas, the robot's use will not stop at the coronavirus.
I hope that it would not just stop at this COVID-19 pandemic. Other infectious diseases can also be curbed using My Robot, like Ebola, Lassa fever, and all these other infectious viruses.
Oluwajoba Oroge is a doctor at an isolation and treatment center in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja.
Getting to hear patients' complaints, deliveries of certain medications, and limiting the duration of time and the frequency that health workers have to be with patients like COVID-19 patients at this time. So yes, it's ingenious, it's useful, it's something that I think should receive a lot of support.
The robotics team at the Gliston International Academy in Nigeria's capital started out trying to build My Robot by collaborating online, but eventually had to come together to finish the project in their lab. Jasiri, Shuja and Tumaini only landed in Kenya just over 2 weeks ago, but they are already playing an important role in curbing the spread of the country's coronavirus epidemic. The 3 glossy white robots made in China and donated by Japan and the United Nations Development Programme have been put to work at Nairobi's main international airport, keeping it disinfected and monitoring arrivals for signs of the virus. As Jasiri, a Swahili word meaning brave, does his rounds, he sprays fine jets of sanitizers from containers attached to his sides and takes infrared pictures with a camera mounted on an extendable neck while scanning hundreds of passengers per minute. He takes their temperatures, records their data for storage, and in tone-flat English, tell those not wearing face masks to put them on and those standing too close to others to respect social distancing rules.
Jasiri's role in this airport is to enhance the safety of international travel. And by that I mean its ability to, 1, take temperature, its ability to sanitize the environment around it, and more importantly for us and for the entire country is the fact that it relays confidence in the safety of air travel.
It can do screening of 200 passengers per minute. So it takes the temperature and records and store that data in one of the computers that we have.
A passenger from Burundi believes this process has helped reduce waiting times at the airport.
That system helps us to save our time, and as you have seen, there was a long queue, but because you have a system which can take more than 100 people, the temperature at the same time, that can help. It will help the service in this area. That is good. It will be fast.
This is one more example of how the future is going to look. The future is going towards contactless travel, is going towards automation, it's going towards a greater focus on what you call health security. And that's where the future is going to. We've just come from a COVID pandemic. You could call that the era of bio-insecurity, but now we're going to more health and safety and security combined and technology. I see that as a powerful force for the enhancement of air travel in the future.
Meanwhile, the trio are also helping to curb the spread of an epidemic that has so far killed almost 1,800 people and infected more than 100,000 people in the East African nation, and also saving passengers time on arrival formalities.
Coming up is my chat with Daniel Chinagozie, founder, IG Hub Africa. Stay with us.
Opportunities are constantly on the rise in Africa, with a lot of young minds accelerating innovation and finding better ways to solve local problems. Every year, the number of startups providing solutions increases, thereby attracting global brands for investment. But despite these opportunities on the continent, Africa is still underperforming and innovation remains challenged. In Nigeria, the innovation ecosystem has been growing, but a lot more needs to be done. This week, we look at all the factors negatively affecting its growth and possible areas that can bring about development. Daniel Chinangozi, founder of IG Hub Africa, shares his thoughts on how we can deepen innovation on the continent.
Daniel, glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you, CFA. Good to see you. How have you been, sir?
Very well, very well. Let's start by looking at the innovation ecosystem in 2021. What's your take?
Innovation ecosystem in 2021 is a year we need to do a lot of work, okay? It's a year we need to do a lot of collaboration. It's a year we need to do a lot of engaging. We need to engage with policy actors to ensure that you are not building, and then there are policies that are destroying. We should no longer build outside government in 2021 because we cannot really grow the ecosystem if we're not really well positioned. And then we need to also upskill. Now, when I say upskill, we have a lot of developers, we have a lot of skilled people in the ecosystem, but the next level where people need to build AI, IoT, big data, the high-level solutions that can actually grow the ecosystem to make us strong players across the world and across Africa. We need to build that skills that is required.
I like the phrase, we don't need to build outside government. Can you elaborate what exactly you mean?
Okay, you see what is happening with fintech companies. CBN will come up with a policy today, and then it overturns all the strategy a fintech company has been building with all this while. Okay, CBN comes up with, initially we heard that CBN was looking into the cryptocurrency as a payment system and all that. All of a sudden they came up with a final sledgehammer and said, no crypto anything in Nigeria. Nothing will ever happen here with respect to cryptocurrency. You know, that changed the narrative for some people that have been innovating in that area. Okay, now one thing you need to understand that the blockchain technology is not just about payment. It's about a lot of things sit on it. Payment is just an angle, and sledging that hammer like this can destroy the entire blockchain technology industry that was growing at a very high rate in Nigeria.
But Daniel, sorry, CBN didn't say no cryptocurrency. They only said banks should not transact. I mean, isn't that
for example, that same policy would have been communicated in such a way that it will not cause creative block. Let me tell you that I can tell you one information now, and a lot of interpretation happens around it. Okay, some people that were doing genuine cryptocurrency businesses because of CBN communication felt that they were now doing an illegal business. There's a way this thing is communicated, okay? So if the innovators were part of that policy design, okay? If the innovators were part of the policy discussion, the communication would have been a bit differently, okay? And so what needs to happen is that we need to find our way to ensure that the policy actors are, we engage with the policy actors from time to time. For example, if CBN had called in the innovation ecosystem to a meeting or to a fora to have some of these discussions, you can't block out the actors, the players, when you're making a policy that has to do with the industry. There is a lot of things, contract signing, land management, a lot of things blockchain technology can do to change the narrative in Nigeria. But everything we're now thinking of the blockchain technology is cryptocurrency. And then if you paint a child in the family black, you might be painting the whole family black. Communication wasn't properly done, okay? And I think it's because we did not engage properly. Nigeria should be building for Africa. Nigeria should be building for the world. Nigeria should be rolling out solutions that other African countries can latch on. Let me say this. I've said it before, but I'm saying it again. Technology will replace Nigeria's oil revenue if we handle it well.
Yeah, let me take you to China. Sorry to cut you, but let me take you to China. China has, you mentioned innovation hubs, and I know that innovation hubs in Aba, where you are located, are actually doing pretty well. But China has about over 10,000 innovation hubs. Nigeria has a couple of hundreds. Do you recommend more? What would be the strategy around innovation hubs?
Okay, let me tell you something. We just signed a contract. We just built a consortium between Africa and European hubs. Okay, a project that is called Ubiquitous. The essence of that project is to bring closer Africa innovation hubs and European innovation hubs to build technologies that can metamorphosize into startups and then metamorphosize into growth or wealth, economy, beautiful stuff. Now, what I found out is that most of the hubs in Africa, in Nigeria, are tech. When they say it's a tech hub, they're just doing software development and then doing digital marketing and all that. There's a need for us to build hubs across strata of innovation. We need to have fab labs, fabrication labs, where people can go and do product development. We need to have maker spaces. That's the beauty of what we have in Aba. We have Clinton that has a maker space, hardware technology building, computer-aided design and computer-aided manufacturing. So what needs to happen is that we need to have hubs across strata. We need to have hubs that are focused on fintech. We need to have hubs that are focused on, different levels, okay? But it's difficult because the model of hubs on its own is not profitable. It doesn't put money on your table. So the system should have been structured in such a way that government provides support for hubs, okay? Or hubs make revenue. Like what we've done in Innovation Growth Hub is that we have positioned ourselves to make revenue by providing services for our community. And then 80% of the revenue that come from those services is plugged back into growing innovation itself. Okay, let me not cause trouble, but the truth is that if we keep innovating the way we're innovating, we'll innovate our political system. We'll disrupt our political system. Okay?
Daniel, time is never our time on this show. Finally, what is the way forward? How do we ensure that in the next couple of years, with the work you are doing and others are doing, we can make Nigeria really stand out as an innovative economy?
The first thing is that everybody that is playing any role in building technology or building innovation in this country should keep doing this. Keep on. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep on firing on. CFA, I love what you are doing in the communication part. Keep communicating what people are doing. Let's keep putting spotlight on people that are doing things. And I also want to say tech innovation ecosystem is not just Abuja and Lagos. No, a lot of things are happening in the smaller cities. There are success stories happening from Jos, success stories in Aba, success stories in Ogun. Success story is I had a meeting with a team that is building something in Ijebu-Ode, not Abeokuta, Ijebu-Ode. So that's the joy. So what we need to do is keep on doing what we're doing. And then governments, please, we're begging you, now you want to get power. Please, let's come together. Let's sit down, brainstorm, get out. Every state need ICT development policy or digital economy development policy. Every state needs to roll out a digital economic project, development project. Get a smart tech person. Call us. We will serve. Call us to head it, to lead it. And don't use bureaucracy to destroy it. There is access to funds at a global level that can actually grow technology. But what needs to happen is that you need to find a round square, round pegs, and put them in round holes.
I have been chatting with Daniel Chinagozie, founder, IG Hub Africa, who is positive about the fact that technology can help turn around the fortunes of the country. But government certainly does have a role to play. As challenging as the COVID-19 pandemic has been on the world, it remains a golden opportunity for Nigeria and Africa to advance technologically. The starting point should be to encourage and support startups to build for the world. That's our show for today. Remember, we live on social media at Tech Trends TV. You can watch these and previous editions of the show on Channels TV, YouTube, or cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.